And welcome back. BronxWorks helps individuals and families improve their economic well-being as well as their social well-being. From toddlers to seniors, they feed, shelter, and teach as well as support neighbors to build a stronger community. The BronxWorks Leadership Council enables passionate individuals to contribute their resources and help vision to help build a more robust Bronx. Joining us now, we've got BronxWorks Leadership Chair, I should say Leadership Council Chair, Kate Machan. And then also we've got Development Manager Andrew Lynn. And thank you both for being with us.
Thanks for having
Hi
me.
there. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you. And we talk about building a more robust Bronx, and obviously that is what we need, the Bronx to be booming. Talk to us a little bit more about the work that you do, and I'll start off with you first, Kate.
So I'll actually let Andrew talk a little bit first about the BronxWorks more broadly. I can focus in on the Leadership Council, if that's okay.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, BronxWorks is a large social services organization. We work primarily in the Bronx. I think anyone who is familiar with the Bronx will have heard of us or know BronxWorks and the work we do. We have over 50 locations throughout the borough, dozens of programs working with residents of all ages. So we have programs in childcare, youth education, all the way up to senior services, programs that work with new immigrants, legal services, workforce development, community health, nutrition education, homeless services, supportive housing, eviction prevention, pretty much any area you can think of within social services, BronxWorks has a program that does that. We work with over 64,000 Bronx residents each year. And I think in particular, recently, BronxWorks has really taken the helm in helping the borough kind of navigate through major crises like the COVID-19 pandemic, where we shifted our resources and adapted them to help the needs of the community in pretty much every way possible that we could find.
Yeah, and one of those things you have is leadership, and the Leadership Council Chair is Kate, and you've got the Leadership Council program. Talk to us about the program and who participates.
Sure. So the Leadership Council is really a collection of committed individuals from in and around New York City, mostly young professionals. And we really bring our time and our knowledge, our connections, and whatever unique skills we have, and we bring that to complement the work of BronxWorks formal board of directors, really to help support and promote BronxWorks in within the Bronx, but also in the larger New York City community. We really want to help BronxWorks, help raise awareness of BronxWorks, so more people are aware of the good work that we're doing, and ideally hope to bring in more fundraising and help BronxWorks form relationships with individuals and with businesses in the community. We really advocate for BronxWorks. We serve as ambassadors. We kind of post to social media, really trying to expand the reach of BronxWorks throughout the community.
Andrew talked a little bit earlier about COVID-19 and some of the things that people have had to really deal with. Talk to me, Andrew, a little bit more about some of the challenges that you guys are having to, deal with, especially now. I mean, it's more than just COVID-19. We talk about inflation, poverty, homelessness. These are all things that a lot of New Yorkers are really contending with. What are your challenges?
Yeah, exactly. We're seeing a lot of those persistent challenges that the Bronx had been facing for many years, like you mentioned, unemployment, low wage growth, food insecurity, housing insecurity. These were persistent challenges that the Bronx had been facing that were exacerbated by the pandemic and are continuing to persist in the current economic environment with inflation. We saw a huge spike in the need for food in particular during the pandemic, which never really subsided. The need for reliable food resources, and in particular nutritious and fresh foods, has remained high within our communities. Also job opportunities, upward mobility, those are always or have been needs of the Bronx. And of course, safe and stable housing. We're always faced with significant evictions and homelessness in the borough, and these are things that we have always been trying to address, and we continue to do so.
Yeah. Kate, the reason I asked that question of Andrew was because these are all things that leaders have to deal with and contend with, right? And so in this leadership program, how much are they taught to deal with current crises and things that people are facing head on?
Yep. So at the Leadership Council, we really focus our efforts on supporting kind of the impact and influence that BronxWorks can have by working on outreach. And we do actually participate also in some of BronxWorks programs. For example, Andrew mentioned the food pantry, the food need, and the various Bronx centers. So we do get in there and get on the ground, helping out with those efforts. But we also do a lot of work in trying to kind of maximize the people who are aware of and supporting the BronxWorks. So that's really primarily our goal. But we do have, countless opportunities to become involved depending on, the varying interests and time availability of Leadership Council members. And one of the great things about the group is that everybody can bring their own unique skills. If you have particular kind of social media or like web design skills, we need those. If you have communication skills, we can put those to use. If you're really more of an on the ground kind of person, then we see a lot of those people showing up at the food pantry and helping out to volunteer at those events. So it really runs the gamut. There's a lot of different ways that council members can come in and help contribute to the organization.
How do people apply and get to be a part of this organization?
Yeah, it's easy. So we actually have information about the council available on the website, BronxWorks.org. There's information about the members, about kind of the responsibilities and expectations, and also what members are likely to get out of the opportunity. And there's an application right there online. We encourage anybody who's interested to, find more information online, fill out an application. And then we will have, a conversation and kind of usually a tour and get people involved who really are committed and want to hit the ground running with us.
Yeah. Andrew, yeah, I'll get Andrew to jump in here and share a little bit, but Andrew, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the coolest things about the Leadership Council is just all the options that there are for the group to get involved. Even during COVID-19, for example, the group wanted to help support BronxWorks efforts. So while everyone was social distancing and kind of staying at home, they were still able to organize fundraisers. They did 2 virtual paint and sip events where we had people purchase tickets and join us virtually to kind of paint and follow this artist who also volunteered her time to lead us and paint these incredible pictures that we were all able to put together. And recently, they also organized a comedy night. So these are just really cool ways that the Leadership Council has still been able to have an impact on our organization.
And when we talk about the Leadership Council, when are the applications due by if somebody's thinking about being a part?
Actually, what's beautiful is that we have rolling admissions. So anybody who's interested at any time can check it out and submit an application. We're particularly focused on sort of increasing membership at this time. As everybody knows, it was tough during COVID-19 to do a lot of things. And, some people left the city, other people kind of couldn't stay involved. And so we did have a slight drop in membership, and we're really interested in ramping our membership back up. So now is a great time. But to be perfectly honest, any time is a good time to get involved. And even if you aren't sure whether you want to get involved, there's lots of ways to be involved with BronxWorks that aren't necessarily the Leadership Council. So check it out, submit an application, and we're sure there's a way for you to be involved. And it has a lot of, it brings a lot of rewards to members in terms of the ability to give back to the community, and also to kind of get involved with other people. It's a great networking opportunity for professionals in the city, and especially for people who really, maybe they were kind of isolated and didn't have that many opportunities to be out and active in the community during the pandemic. Now's a great time to jump back in. We are doing in-person events. As Andrew mentioned, we hosted a comedy event a couple of weeks ago, And we also have the opportunity to participate in a lot of BronxWorks events. We help to plan and participate in their annual gala. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved, and it's really a rewarding opportunity for anybody who wants to pursue it.
Yo, I've been covering BronxWorks for more than 2 decades, so I do know the great work that goes on that BronxWorks does, particularly during times like these, as we're preparing for the holiday season, the winter season, boots on the ground, and then now the Leadership Council. So, Kate, thank you so much for being with us. Andrew, thank you so much for being with us, and you guys have a happy holiday.
Thank you so much. You as well.
All right.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Well, for more information, you can visit the website at BronxWorks.org, and then also follow them on Instagram and Twitter at BronxWorks. Don't go anywhere. We got more Open coming up right after this.